things I think that are really important to think about in end product is, and we've mentioned some of these things, is that the process is more important than the product. You could see some of those products lack different things, but the learning is in there as they're going through the process. And so always remember that. That's a big stress from New Tech. Process is more important than the product. And the other thing is personalized is more important than standardized. If you get all the same project, it's kind of boring for you and it's boring for the class, especially if they're presenting. We've done projects where it's a Prezi or a PowerPoint and it's the same one over and over. Everyone wants to kill themselves at the end of the day because it's so boring. So letting them be able to pick some of those things is a big plus. The other one is trying to focus it more on the students rather than on the teachers. So giving them control, voice and choice is what we use often as a term. The more voice and choice students have, the better. I'm going to point out one other thing to you is, before I turn you loose, is, oh boy, close that window. The PBL resources document that you have, I had to find it real quick. On there is something I want to show you that everyone always loves, that is a genres list. So under PBL examples right here, and then you go on, it's on the second page, is this genres list right here. If you open that up, this is a whole bunch of different product ideas. So what we'd like to work on next is take your PBL planning form back out, and hopefully you got your driving question, at least rough draft, maybe you're still figuring it out, and then you want to start thinking about your end product. And we'll give you about 25 minutes to start processing, work through some end product ideas with that. And one of the things I have done with this, with limited success, is I give this to students also. One way I've done projects is say, okay, you have to present this to the class, no PowerPoints allowed, because they suck. You have to do something other than a PowerPoint. Here's a list of stuff. You can do whatever you want, and give this to students. The drawback on that I found is, even though I give them all this, they tend not to, a few students will use it, but a lot of students still aren't super creative with it. Other things I've done that seem to work a little bit better is pick 5 or 6 things off here and say, hey, here's some ideas. So, in showing some examples. So you show them, for example, the kids holding up the paper. That was like a video that was going around the YouTube at the time about a girl who committed suicide. So they saw that and said, hey, we can use that style of video to do our video. Or the Common Craft styles, another one that we've used. Or the drawing, they see that somewhere else. Show them a video that has nothing to do with the content, but shows them different styles and expose them to different styles and say, hey, you guys could try this, you guys could try this. And your creative students will run with it. So, yes?
Do you feel that giving them 5 or 6 to choose from has been usually more effective than giving them the entire list?
I do.
Because otherwise they just...
And then I always, the caveat is always, here's 5 or 6. If you got another idea, just come run it by me. Anything that's legitimate and I think they can do, I'm going to say yes to. I'm not going to say no unless it's just, we want to call up Brad Pitt and have him do this. Okay, let's backtrack. That's probably not realistic. But anything I think they can accomplish, I'm going to say yes to. So use this list, brainstorm ideas, see if you can think of and come up with some ideas for your project for end products.
What was that under again, Mike?
It's on